morning. This is the Master Builder Show, sponsored by First National Bank of Weatherford. I'm your host, Jim Gibson, president of Gibson Home Builders Incorporated, a registered builder in the state of Texas, a graduate master builder certified by the National Association of Home Builders. I'm a current member of the U.S. Green Building Council, Texas Association of Builders, National Association of Builders, and past president of Parker County. My guests today are Don Laughlin, president of Laughlin Home Builders Incorporated, and Craig Chambers, New Day Homes. Craig, how are you today?
Good morning, Jim.
Well, what have you got to tell us today? I know you've got some new kind of construction down there on Interstate 20 that called New Day Homes, correct?
We do. New Day Homes specializes in green construction, residential and light commercial. We utilize a new concept in construction technique and building materials. It's actually a patented system, and I wish I could take credit for inventing it, but I didn't. I'm just proud to be building it. We're galvanized steel framing. Our studs are I-beams, and our insulation uniquely is a 5-inch thick wall of polystyrene foam. We begin the process in our shop and actually fabricate all the structural components of the home there. We get it to the job site, and it tilts up very much like a commercial building.
How long from start to finish usually on your houses?
We are typically 90 days. We'll build a 2,400 square foot house inside of 90 days.
And that's from the time you break ground?
It is, because there's no wasted time, Jim. Once we go to contract and begin site preparation, we are actually building the components, the structural components of the home, in another place.
Right.
So while we're doing the site work and pouring the foundation, letting it cure, we actually have begun construction on the home.
Wow. Don, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Good morning, Jim. Well, we're custom builders. We build here in Parker County, and we, like a lot of builders, strive for energy efficiency, a good, strong energy efficiency envelope on our homes. I'm really impressed there with what Craig had to talk about, and that turn time of 90 days. Of course, that's enviable for any builder to be able to get a product completed in that kind of a time frame. We're typically about a 4.5 month to 6 month, and some of our larger homes, $1 million plus, may run into the 8-9 month period of time now.
Yeah, I think normal for most builders is 6 months or so.
That's
Craig,
correct.
You got any more to talk about on your type of building technique there?
Well, I think the thing we're most focused on, and the thing that brings people to us, is our energy efficiency, the low energy bills. We have an R24 in the walls, and our roof is a little bit in excess of R50. So we're looking at extremely good reductions in electric bills. But also something that we tend to overlook sometime are the tremendous insurance discounts on our homes because of the fact that there's no food value and there's nothing for a termite or a rat to eat.
Right.
And no medium for any kind of mold or bacteria to survive. Our walls and roof have a 2-hour fire rating. So the insurance company has really smiled, the insurance industry has smiled on our building system because of some of the things that are in place just by the very nature of the energy-efficient material.
And all your air conditioning equipment's in conditioned space also, so it stays cooler than it would if it was up in an attic.
Exactly, Jim. It's in an attic, but it's under that R50 roof. There's not but a few degrees difference between that attic and our living area, even in the heat of the summer.
Don, any comments?
Well, I'm sitting here just impressed. I mean, anytime you can achieve an R50 in your roof, that's huge. R24 in the walls. So he's got a tremendous energy envelope there, and I suspect you really have to downsize and quantify the heating and air that's going in there so you don't overproduce in that kind of an environment. It's kind of like living in an igloo.
It really is.
Yeah, very tight and very, very impressive. In a situation like that, one of my biggest complaints, not with what he's building and what any of us are building, is the weak points. We can get our walls and our roof tremendously strong. We can get our windows tight. It's our exterior doors that are the weak link, and it's amazing to me that in this day and age we haven't yet come up with a more practical or a more energy efficient door or a way of accessing our house where we can stop the leakage that happens right there. And you have any comments on that?
Other than that, I agree with you wholeheartedly. I mean, we're still using the antique doors in state-of-the-art construction.
Yeah.
Well, you need to come up with one.
Well, yes. I mean, the insulation in the doors has had marked improvements over the years, but still, what Don's saying about how tightly it closes.
Right. All you listeners out there, we'll be answering any questions you have at 877-341-8950. That's 877-341-8950. Also, to check out builders and remodelers, you can go online to www.texasrcc.org. That's texasrcc.org. Or call 877-651-TRCC. That's 877-651-8722. Here you can find out about builders and contractors and make sure that they're currently registered in good standing. Also, you can check and see if there's any complaints been filed against them. And to get a list of registered builders in your area, you can also contact your local builders association. In our case out here, Parker County Builders Association is a chapter of the Greater Fort Worth Builders Association. And they have a list of all the builders in the following counties. It's Parker, Hood, Summerville, Palo Pinto, Johnson, Tarrant, Wise. And their number is 817-457-2864. It's 817-457-2864. And any questions y'all might have on construction, remodeling, or maintaining your home, call us toll free at 877-341-8950. That's 877-341-8950. Today we're talking primarily about different building techniques and all that stuff, but we're going to have to take a break here, according to Ace here, so we'll be back in a couple of minutes.
At the First National Bank of Weatherford, growing your business has been our priority for 127 years. Hello, everyone. This is Lynn Bearden. In addition to working with us to maximize your business, joining the Weatherford, East Parker County, and Springtown Chambers of Commerce is one of the surest ways to guarantee your financial success. Remember, you are not alone in today's business world. These great chambers and the First National Bank of Weatherford are here to help you succeed. Member FDIC and an equal housing lender.
Do you know your retirement readiness score or how much money you need to save to retire comfortably? You could pay a financial planner $1,000 or more to find out if you'll be ready for retirement. Or, right now, you can get a personalized analysis of your retirement readiness at yourcircleofwealth.com. The Circle of Wealth Retirement Calculator will give you two very important numbers. First, it calculates the savings you'll need to retire comfortably. Second, it analyzes whether your current financial plan will be successful in reaching your savings goal and delivers your personal retirement readiness score. You can get your personal retirement analysis today and be ready for a great future. As a bonus, you can download a life-changing report with 25 pages of outstanding financial strategies to help reach your retirement goals. You can go to yourcircleofwealth.com, enter the passcode Gibson, yourcircleofwealth.com, passcode Gibson, Gibson.
Cronin Masonry Supplies, 2205 Fort Worth Highway, Weatherford, 817-341-0188. Cronin carries a large selection of masonry supplies, including decorative concrete, overlays, cinder blocks, acid concrete stains by Chemico, and outdoor fireplaces. With over 40 years' experience, if they don't have it, they will find it for you. Cronin Masonry Supplies, 2205 Fort Worth Highway, 817-341-0188.
Alamo Appliance, 100 South Riverside Drive in Fort Worth, has been dedicated to serving your needs in kitchen appliances for over 35 years. They offer Genair, KitchenAid, Whirlpool, Maytag, Amana, and many others. Their experienced sales staff will help you make the right decisions at the right time. That's Alamo Appliance, 817-531-2701. Once again, that's Alamo Appliance, 817-531-2701.
Gibson Home Builders Incorporated, 2401 Zion Hill Road, Weatherford, Texas, 682-429-2116. We specialize in homes to suit each and every individual that expects special attention. We help design, finance, and close on every home we build. We use green building techniques in all of our homes. You can contact Jim at masterbuildershow.com. Gibson Home Builders Incorporated, Weatherford, 682-429-2116. Welcome back to the Master Builder Show. My name is Jim Gibson. My guests today are Don Laughlin with Laughlin Home Builders Incorporated and Craig Chambers with New Day Homes. We've been talking about the different building techniques there are today, and Craig's got kind of a unique way of building buildings down here. And Craig, you have more to tell us about it?
Well, I probably would like to share with our listeners the thing that's most reacted to, I guess, by people who visit us is the fact there's no wood and no sheetrock in this house because of the nature of our 5-inch wall of foam that's coated on each side with a reinforcement mat and then 2 layers of acrylic rosin mixed with Portland cement. That makes up the coating on the interior and the exterior of the wall and the underside of the roof and ceiling. So it eliminates a piece of sheetrock on the inside, eliminates OSB or plywood sheathing on the exterior. And once we have the house up and tied together with steel tie plates, we come back in and bond every seam and every joint in that house with that same reinforcement mat and that same acrylic plaster.
So it's incredibly strong.
It is, and like Don said, it's like living in an igloo cooler. It is so tight.
So once you get it cold, it stays cold. Once you heat it up, it stays warm.
That's it.
Well, Don, you got any other things to say to Craig?
Obviously living in one of those homes removes the burden of having to hang pictures on the walls, and I think that's a great plus right there. So, I don't know where in the world you'd even start to put a nail, but that sure sounds like a tight environment.
That's a frequently asked question, too, by the ladies who come in. How do I hang pictures? And we have some large pictures on our wall, but it's very easy. We use a smooth shank nail, 4-inch or 5-inch nail, and just put it in at an angle. And the solid wall of foam holds anything up to 30, 35 pounds. After that, we ask our homeowners to find the steel studs and use a sheet metal screw. And then we could hang a piano on the wall if we had to.
I saw a neat thing over at the Bannister house here a couple of weeks ago that they had taken and ran a molding, and it was more like a plate mold, and it was about a foot or a foot and a half off the ceiling. And what they did, they made clip hangers that would hang on that, and they suspended the pictures with wires. So there's actually no holes placed in the walls anywhere, and you could move that picture around just by unhanging it off that piece of molding. And like I said, it was like a crown or some type of crown molding or picture mold, but it was a unique idea, and the customer there had come up with it, and I had asked Chris Miles, the builder, if he had come up with the idea, and he said, no, that was the customer's, but it was.
It sounds like it had to be male-driven, though. I mean, some of our better ideas don't necessarily get by Mama. Those exposed wires hanging down, I don't know how that would really fly, but we're about functionality, and they're about the aesthetics.
Well, it actually, it was a decorative wire, and it looked more like an art gallery.
It wasn't baling wire?
No, it wasn't baling wire.
Good old barbed wire.
And, about what do your houses cost to build as far as per square foot cost?
We sell our house for $85 a square foot for the living area, finished. And one of the hallmarks of our home is the very generous porches, which with our model home sitting on I-20, I think that full porch across the front stops a lot of traffic.
Right.
People have got used to not seeing and not having porches, but we build our porches, garages, and carports of the same insulated structure. So you can actually be outside on this porch in the middle of August and enjoy yourself. But $85 a foot for the living area, and carports are priced at $39.
Well, that's one of my pet peeves. It's a question I'm asked over and over again. How much do you build a house for per square foot? And
absolutely, people are always wanting to know.
Well, normally I come back with, well, how much does the car cost per pound? You know, and they're usually saying, well, what kind of car? You know, and I say, well, you want a Hyundai or you want a Rolls Royce? And it all depends on what you put in a home as to how much it costs and your exterior, your roof pitch. I know. Don, I noticed you're moving your mouth there, but nothing was coming out.
Well, I have a lot of thoughts on that, but I mean, we're asked that continuously, and it's a natural question. We're all driven by price. I mean, who doesn't go to the store and immediately start looking for the price of an item that may be of interest to you? And certainly with the biggest investment that you could probably make in your life on a home where you're going to place family and all of your belongings, you're going to be very interested in what the price of that is. All of our customers seem to be driven by the need and desire for energy efficiency, and they want the bells and whistles and the eye candy. And until we have determined what it is that they want to have, we're really kind of taking a wild guess as to where we're going to be. We can look at historical evidence of what we've typically been, what parameters we've been within on building a home and set those parameters for them. But for a hard and fast, it's almost impossible till you've gone through the selection process.
Well, unless you punch them out one after another, and they're all identical, and they're using the same materials, same roof style, same appliance. I mean, fixtures and appliances. Then you could get real close. But it's been my experience that nobody wants the same house as the guy next door. He may want something similar, but they tend to modify or make it to fit their own needs. I mean, they may have 4 or 5 kids, and the couple next door have 2, and so you can't really punch out a house just one after. I mean, you can, but it's been my experience on most of my custom homes is everybody wants to design their own.
Absolutely, and when you're talking about energy efficiency, lifestyle plays such an important role on that. Also, you can have homes side by side with essentially the same equipment, but different size families and different ways of living. The age of the children. So you've got teenagers, and you've got kids going in and out. You've got lights left on. I mean, that's going to drive your energy, your utility cost, and energy consumption. So you're not really doing an apples-to-apples comparison when that's going on. There's a lot of factors to bring into when you're talking about energy efficiency or how much it costs, price per foot is on a house, and doing that.
Craig, you got any comments?
Well, the way our pricing is structured, we publish a list of features that for that $85 a foot, here is what the house consists of. We define the trim, the windows, the doors.
Yeah, y'all got your system down. I mean,
but we start there, and then it's like going in to buy a truck.
Right.
Here's the basic truck, but if you want leather seats, if you want rear air conditioners, etc., and people do take our basic house and customize it to fit their needs.
Well, if y'all have any questions out there, call us on 877-341-8950. That's 877-341-8950. I know I try to explain to people that I can build 3 houses identical. I mean, 3 houses with the same square footage on the floor plan as far as air-conditioned space, and that's what the realtors and everybody that sells it tends to price it off of is air-conditioned space. They may have, take for instance, we'll build a 2,000 square foot house with a 2-car garage. It's got minimal porches, minimal patio, and let's say we price that house at $160,000. Well, that's $80 a square foot. And this guy's wanting the cheapest house he can get. So we build one. Well, we build one right next door, and he wants some moderate upgrades. He wants to upgrade the flooring and the fixtures all through the house. And this one comes back at $90 a square foot. And it's still 2,000 square foot of living area. But we just took the house up $20,000 in price. And we could build one next to that and put him a 3-car garage, and he put him a 12 by 60 porch on the back. Still keep the 2,000 square foot of living area, but increase the total slab to, let's say, 3,200 square foot. Well, this house comes back at $110 a square foot, or $220,000, which was $60,000 more than the first house, and simply because things aren't free, and they're giving you a price on living area, and actual square footage on the slab that we poured on the first house was 2,600 because he didn't want to live outside like this third guy did, and his actual square footage was 3,200. So somebody's got to pay for that, and it has to be the customer. So it's all figured in, price per square foot, air conditioned space after all said and done, but.
It doesn't seem fair to the porch, does it?
Right.
To make it not get paid for.
Well, for some reason, they just don't. I haven't seen any realtors or anything that will price things, and we're getting more and more into the outdoor living area where we're putting stoves out on the patio,
ceiling fans,
fireplaces, ceiling fans, and all this. And it like this last house we were talking about here, it may come up $110 per square foot, but actual under roof was $68.75, whereas house number 2 was let's see, let me figure this here, $69.23. So the house number 2 actually cost more total under roof, then the third one. Looks like Ace says we need to go to a break again. This is Master Builder Show. We'll be right back.
For growing your business has been our priority for 127 years. Hello, everyone. This is Lynn Bearden. In addition to working with us to maximize your business, joining the Weatherford, East Parker County, and Springtown Chambers of Commerce is one of the surest ways to guarantee your financial success. Remember, you are not alone in today's business world. These great chambers and the First National Bank of Weatherford are here to help you succeed. Member FDIC and an equal housing lender.
Do you know your retirement readiness score or how much money you need to save to retire comfortably? You could pay a financial planner $1,000 or more to find out if you'll be ready for retirement. Or, right now, you can get a personalized analysis of your retirement readiness at yourcircleofwealth.com. The Circle of Wealth Retirement Calculator will give you two very important numbers. First, it calculates the savings you'll need to retire comfortably. Second, it analyzes whether your current financial plan will be successful in reaching your savings goal and delivers your personal retirement readiness score. You can get your personal retirement analysis today and be ready for a great future. As a bonus, you can download a life-changing report with 25 pages of outstanding financial strategies to help reach your retirement goals. You can go to yourcircleofwealth.com, enter the passcode Gibson, yourcircleofwealth.com, passcode Gibson, GIBSON.
Conan Masonry Supplies, 2205 Fort Worth Highway, Weatherford, 817-341-0188. Cronin carries a large selection of masonry supplies, including decorative concrete, overlays, cinder blocks, acid concrete stains by Chemico, and outdoor fireplaces. With over 40 years' experience, if they don't have it, they will find it for you. Cronin Masonry Supplies, 2205 Fort Worth Highway, 817-341-0188.
The Bank of Weatherford, local folks you know and trust. We are proud of our community and our customers. Whether you need a checking account, personal or business loan, auto loan, interim construction loan, or mortgage loan, we can help. You may visit us at 901 Santa Fe Drive in Weatherford, or you may give us a call at 817-596-9998. You may also visit us on the web at www.thebankofweatherford.com. The Bank of Weatherford, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
Gibson Home Builders Incorporated, 2401 Zion Hill Road, Weatherford, Texas, 682-429-2116. We specialize in homes to suit each and every individual that expects special attention. We help design, finance, and close on every home we build. We use green building techniques in all of our homes. You can contact Jim at masterbuildershow.com. Gibson Home Builders Incorporated, Weatherford, 682-429-2116. Welcome back to the Master Builder Show. My name is Jim Gibson, your host. I've got with me today in the studio Don Laughlin, president of Laughlin Home Builders Incorporated, and Craig Chambers with New Day Homes. How are y'all today, gentlemen?
Doing great, Jim.
All right. Right before we left on break, we've also got a couple of Home Depot gift certificates to give away today. The first question, and I cover it every week, so I want to see how many people out there are listening, is how do you find a registered builder? How do you find a registered builder? You can call us at 877-341-8950. 877-341-8950. Well, before we left on break, we were going to talk about, I guess, the next thing we're going to talk here is on SIP construction. Have you ever done any SIPs, Don?
We've done a little bit on roof construction. It's a structurally insulated panel and very effective. OSB plywood with styrofoam in between and makes an excellent roof covering. It's used quite commonly in wall construction.
Yeah, I think the only downside is most of the time you got to have a crane involved when you're putting up the panels.
It's bigger and heavier.
It usually goes up faster. It's similar to, I guess, your process there, isn't it, Craig?
There are a lot of similarities, yes.
Other than yours is metal and no wood, and this is wood on the exterior with the styrofoam. Yours is kind of reversed from that, isn't it?
It is.
But, okay, SIP process next. Let's see here. We've got SIPs is structurally insulated panel. I think we've got a caller coming in here. This is Master Builder Show. You're live on the air. This is Jim Gibson. Can I help you?
On that question you had, you need to check with Austin. They got a building restoration thing down there. We've got registered to be a building.
Do you know what the name of that organization is? Hello, sir?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of it. I did know it. Texas, slipped my mind right now. I know you got to find it in Austin. It's registered.
Well, I need the name of the organization, or I can't give you the gift certificate.
All right.
All right, sir. This is Jim Gibson. We're back on the air. That question is, how do you find out if your builder is registered? How do you find out if your builder is registered? Call us on 877-341-8950. That's 877-341-8950. Looks like we've got another caller coming in right here. Welcome to the Master Builder Show. You're live on the air.
All right. Is it the TRCC?
Yes, sir. And what does TRCC stand for?
Well, I think it's Texas Residential Construction Corporation, maybe.
Well, that's close enough. As long as you know TRCC. If you go to texasrcc.org online, it's a text, and we need your name, sir, to put on this gift certificate.
That's Brad Wilkerson.
Brad Wilkerson?
Uh-huh.
All right, sir. If you'll swing by the studio and pick it up, we've got a $25 gift certificate to Home Depot for you here. Thank you very much, sir.
All right. Enjoy listening to y'all.
All right. Thank you, sir. We were talking about SIPs. There's also an ICF construction, which is insulated concrete forms. And up here, we don't see a whole lot of it, but down in hurricane-ravaged areas and stuff like that, where they've got a lot of storms coming through, it generally probably is about the best construction you can do down there as far as generally.
We had a caller that didn't want to go on the air but wanted to know why their home should be so tight.
Why should their home be so tight? What you want to do now is to control your environment. And in order to control your environment, you're trying to keep out all the contaminants. So we try to make our homes as tight as we can, and we run everything through our air handlers and filters to filter out any contaminants or any pollen. Don, you got
Well, that's correct. And in fact, some of your older listeners may remember, back in the late 70s and early 80s, we started having to bring in combustible air vents to our fireplaces because our houses were beginning to be so tight that we couldn't get the fireplace to draw, and they were actually backdrafting. And in today's housing, we hear quite a bit about air quality. Air quality inside the home is very important. We have a chance of actually breathing more pollutants inside of our home than we do outside. And sometimes that tightness can work against you, and in which case we're needing to bring in fresh air. And there's fresh air exchangers that are put into the heating and air system, and which is not to say anything about it being tight. We definitely want it tight. It's the migration of or loss of heat is what we're trying to either have happen or keep from happening. We want to heat the air and keep it, or we want to keep the hot air that's outside from getting into where we're at. But at the same time, we want to be able to breathe some fresh air and get those turned over, because we produce not only a tremendous amount of moisture inside of our homes, which has to be released, in the day living, we're producing a lot of chemical exchanges happening too. We need to get those cleared out.
Greg, you got any comments?
I do. That also brings to mind what Don brought up earlier about properly sizing the HVAC, the air conditioning and heating systems in our homes, because it's real easy with our house. People tend to want to overkill the air conditioning.
Yeah, most people, give me a 6-ton air conditioning unit when you only need a 3.
Exactly.
And the problem is our house is so tight, you want it to run to a certain extent to dehumidify the house, because we not only cool, but we dehumidify.
Exactly.
And without that, we've got mold growth, and that's one thing you do not want here in Texas.
Not at all, dry air.
And we're striving, too, for sufficient air changes within the living envelope.
Right, but you want to control it. That's the reason we want our houses tight. Main thing is to control everything that comes in. I build a lot of houses for people with lots of allergies, and we use outside air exchange units, and we seal up the house. And really it's best to keep some type of positive pressure on the house if you can, rather than a negative pressure, because a negative pressure will suck in pollutants from your attic.
Absolutely, and our garage is a real big culprit for that, and a lot of people don't realize you pull into your garage and lower the door and then come into the house, you've just entered a positive environment where that air behind you is rushing in, and you're bringing in a lot of that exhaust from that. In our homes, many times we'll go ahead and put exhaust fan system that's controlled with our garage doors in the garage. So when the garage door comes down, the fan kicks on. It runs for 10 minutes, and that pulls a lot of that out. An ideal situation would be a detached garage, but so many times you can't do that.
All right, we've got another gift certificate to give away today. Another gift certificate. It's a $25 gift certificate for Home Depot. And the question on this is the first question was, how do you find out if a builder is registered? This question is, how do you find a registered builder in your area? How do you find a registered builder in your area? The number is 877-341-8950. That's 877-341-8950. Back to ICF construction. ICF is insulated concrete forms, where you've got two pieces of styrofoam, and you pour concrete in the center, and it's usually a mono pour on all the walls. And like I said, this structure is probably best in hurricane ravaged areas, because but your type of construction, Craig, yours will withstand 110 mile an hour winds, won't it?
It will, and by upgrading the gauge of the steel, we easily take them to a 130 mile an hour wind rating. And as we speak, we're having engineering done for a 165 mile an hour house. This was driven by the New Orleans. We had a man from Louisiana come to us and want to rebuild part of New Orleans, and FEMA is now requiring a 160 mile an hour wind load.
Do y'all get Dade County certifications on your houses?
We haven't.
Well, you need to, probably.
Yes. I lived in Dade County for a while, and yeah, we that would be the benchmark.
Well, their regulations there in Dade are probably the strictest in the United States anyway, as far as it seems like they've got more hurricanes to deal with down there than we
That's
would.
Miami, Florida, Jim's talking about.
Yeah. Dade County, Florida, and they've got some pretty stringent rules on their construction practices and roofing and how you have to strap everything together, which is a good idea. And but everything that we do costs money, so that's where we come back.
You're adding to the cost per foot you were talking about, and those walls, as strong as they are, you've also got to look at strengthened windows when you're doing that too, for storm resistant and storm impact type glass in your windows. ICF construction is a wonderful process. Even with your not being in a hurricane-prone environment, we have tornadic activity. We've got extreme heat. It's a environment. It's a house that it creates an environment that is easier to heat and cool because of its insulated value. Laughlin Home Builders builds houses with basements a lot of times, and we get a lot of raised eyebrows. People think that basements are typically only found in the north. We have some of the same soil conditions down there that they do up north, where they typically build basements very commonly. And when we put a basement in, there's a couple of things that need to be identified. One is drainage and soil conditions. And the other aspects and attributes that come with the basement are just right there for us. Instead of having extreme winters, we have extreme summers. And it's always interesting to watch people walk into either an ICF constructed home or into a home that's got a basement in it, and watch their eyebrows go up as we step into a cooler environment. Simply descending the stairs, and it's 105 degrees up, and framing going on above ground, you step into the basement and it drops 10, 15 degrees. It makes a noticeable impact. It's something that we all recognize, and by the same token, with our ground temperature being constantly at 74 degrees, that works in our favor in the wintertime also.
As you go down in if like below 9 feet, it stays at a consistent 62 degrees.
Yeah.
So we were talking about geothermal heat pumps here in 2 weeks ago. Okay, we've got another caller. Ace says, "This is Master Builder Show. Hello, caller. You're live on the air. May I help you?"
Yes. Do you have an answer to the question yet?
No, ma'am, we do not.
Is there an association that you can refer to, the National Federation of Builders?
It's not the National Federation of Builders. I normally cover it before we go into each show, and it is an association. If you can come up with a name.
All right. Well, that was the only one that came to mind.
Okay, I'm sorry. Thank you. Jim Gibson. The question is, how do you, for a $25 gift certificate to Home Depot, how do you find a registered builder in your area? How do you find a registered builder in your area? What associations can you contact? And I cover this before we go on, as we go on air every show, usually. This is Jim Gibson, Master Builder Show. You can reach us at 877-341-8950. That's 877-341-8950. We've got to go to a break. We'll be right back.
At the First National Bank of Weatherford, growing your business has been our priority for 127 years. Hello, everyone. This is Lynn Bearden. In addition to working with us to maximize your business, joining the Weatherford, East Parker County, and Springtown Chambers of Commerce is one of the surest ways to guarantee your financial success. Remember, you are not alone in today's business world. These great chambers and the First National Bank of Weatherford are here to help you succeed. Member FDIC and an equal housing lender.
Do you know your retirement readiness score or how much money you need to save to retire comfortably? You could pay a financial planner $1,000 or more to find out if you'll be ready for retirement. Or, right now, you can get a personalized analysis of your retirement readiness at yourcircleofwealth.com. The Circle of Wealth Retirement Calculator will give you two very important numbers. First, it calculates the savings you'll need to retire comfortably. Second, it analyzes whether your current financial plan will be successful in reaching your savings goal and delivers your personal retirement readiness score. You can get your personal retirement analysis today and be ready for a great future. As a bonus, you can download a life-changing report with 25 pages of outstanding financial strategies to help reach your retirement goals. You can go to yourcircleofwealth.com, enter the passcode Gibson, yourcircleofwealth.com, passcode Gibson, Gibson.
Cronin Masonry Supplies, 2205 Fort Worth Highway, Weatherford, 817-341-0188. Cronin carries a large selection of masonry supplies, including decorative concrete, overlays, cinder blocks, acid concrete stains by Kimiko, and outdoor fireplaces. With over 40 years' experience, if they don't have it, they will find it for you. Cronin Masonry Supplies, 2205 Fort Worth Highway, 817-341-0188. Alamo Electrical Contracting Services, 9500 Camp Bowie West, Fort Worth, Texas, 817-249-4964, offering residential and commercial electrical services in Parker, Palo Pinto, Wise, Hood, Johnson, Erath, and Tarrant counties. That's Alamo Electrical Contracting Services, 9500 Camp Bowie West, Fort Worth, Texas, 817-249-4964. Gibson Home Builders Incorporated, 2401 Zion Hill Road, Weatherford, Texas, 682-429-2116. We specialize in homes to suit each and every individual that expects special attention. We help design, finance, and close on every home we build. We use green building techniques in all of our homes. You can contact Jim at masterbuildershow.com. Gibson Home Builders Incorporated, Weatherford, 682-429-2116. Welcome back to the Master Builder Show. My guests today are Don Laughlin, president of Laughlin Home Builders Incorporated, and Craig Chamber of New Day Homes. Y'all still doing okay, guys? You still staying awake?
Doing great.
Oh, yeah.
Before we went on break, we said we had another gift certificate for Home Depot, $25 gift certificate to give away. And the question is, how do you find a registered builder in your area? Where can you go or where can you call to find out a registered builder in your area? The number you can reach us on is toll-free at 877-341-8950. That's 877-341-8950. We were talking about construction primarily on this show, and I've got kind of a list of things that when people are going to build a house, a lot of them, our younger generation especially, they go in and they're looking at the size of the home, whether it's got granite countertops, what kind of cabinets there are, what type of flooring, is it brick on the outside, does it have rock on the outside, accents, and all these things are fine and dandy, but you can put all these things on any type of construction, and it's really what's behind the walls that count, and there's all sorts of energy efficient things that you can do to a house, and everything costs money. It's been my experience is you want to build as green as you can build, or as green as you can afford. Everybody can't go out and just get the whole ball of wax. I mean, they can get a few things, and every little thing you do can help. Isn't that right, Craig?
Absolutely.
And I know in your type of building, you're probably about as energy efficient as you can get, I think, on your kind of construction, isn't it?
I think so. And there are certainly structures with more R value. ICF, for instance,
right,
has more R value than we do, but we're at a different price point.
Right.
So we're trying to address an affordable green home.
Well, I know there all these different kinds of construction, and each one is at a different level. And normally you start out with a wood frame construction on 16-inch centers. They've got some new framing techniques out now called advanced framing techniques, or volume. They've got one that's optimum volume value engineering, I believe, where you're
use less wood.
And what you do, yeah, optimum value.
I think an accountant came up with that.
I think
save more money.
It's advanced framing techniques, and what they do on that is you're using 2x6s for walls, and you put them on 24-inch centers or 19 2-inch centers. 19-2. But what you do is you stack everything on top of each other, so you're kind of inline framing. So all your joists and your rafters are actually setting on top of a stud down below at 2x6, and you're supposed to be able to cut out about 20% of the lumber.
Well, you can, and I'll tell you what, I made that comment, but anything that's going to help or promote saving wood, saving resources, as it were, or even the manufacture of resources. I mean, air quality is a vital concern to everybody, and there's a factory somewhere that's producing a lot of these man-made products that we're using that so-called replace wood, and we've got to consider what's going on into those processes. But in our part of the world, balloon framing, stick framing, like we do, is pretty unique. Whereas block construction is typical in other parts of the world, and we're bringing block construction back in to this part of the world when we talk about ICF or poured concrete wall, or what Craig's talking about are the SIPS panels. There's a product now that I've become aware of. We've not had an opportunity to build with it yet, but I'm looking forward to it because it's a outstanding product. It's called AgriBoard, and AgriBoard is using highly compressed wheat straw. It's a wonderful process that has a lot of utilization capabilities in third world countries where they have quite a bit of rice straw, wheat straw, stubble in the field that can be gathered and in a highly compressed manner and used into building material for tilt wall or block construction to get the vital infrastructure up for housing. And it's used quite often now in commercial building in this part of the country. There's several companies that have jumped on board with that, and it's exciting. It's worth looking into, and I'm sure you have some listeners out there that are real keen on what is new and available in green building. And anytime some kind of a new product comes up, to check that out. The internet is a great resource for us to be able to fully explore what the capabilities of something is and how it might be applied to our own life.
Callers, you can call us with any questions at 877-341-8950. That's 877-341-8950. We still got that Home Depot gift certificate for $25 to give away. I didn't think the question was that hard. Is how do you find a registered builder in your area? What organization do you need to contact to find a registered builder in your area? What organization or association? And I'll give you, looks like Ace is signaling me for another break. We'll be back in a few minutes.
At the First National Bank of Weatherford, growing your business has been our priority for 127 years. Hello, everyone. This is Lynn Bearden. In addition to working with us to maximize your business, joining the Weatherford, East Parker County, and Springtown Chambers of Commerce is one of the surest ways to guarantee your financial success. Remember, you are not alone in today's business world. These great chambers and the First National Bank of Weatherford are here to help you succeed. Member FDIC and an equal housing lender.
Do you know your retirement readiness score or how much money you need to save to retire comfortably? You could pay a financial planner $1,000 or more to find out if you'll be ready for retirement. Or, right now, you can get a personalized analysis of your retirement readiness at yourcircleofwealth.com. The Circle of Wealth Retirement Calculator will give you two very important numbers. First, it calculates the savings you'll need to retire comfortably. Second, it analyzes whether your current financial plan will be successful in reaching your savings goal and delivers your personal retirement readiness score. You can get your personal retirement analysis today and be ready for a great future. As a bonus, you can download a life-changing report with 25 pages of outstanding financial strategies to help reach your retirement goals. You can go to yourcircleofwealth.com, enter the passcode Gibson, yourcircleofwealth.com, passcode Gibson, GIBSON.
Cronin Masonry Supplies, 2205 Fort Worth Highway, Weatherford, 817-341-0188. Cronin carries a large selection of masonry supplies, including decorative concrete, overlays, cinder blocks, acid concrete stains by Kimiko, and outdoor fireplaces. With over 40 years' experience, if they don't have it, they will find it for you. Cronin Masonry Supplies, 2205 Fort Worth Highway, 817-341-0188. Henson Lumber, Crescent, Texas, 817-396-4321. www.hensonlumber.com. Henson Lumber, serving our community since 1973. Both lumber and millwork products. The full-time estimator gives customers defined and accurate materials estimates. The millwork department has windows, doors, trim, and hardware. www.hensonlumber.com. Henson Lumber, Crescent, Texas, 817-396-4321.
Gibson Home Builders Incorporated, 2401 Zion Hill Road, Weatherford, Texas, 682-429-2116. We specialize in homes to suit each and every individual that expects special attention. We help design, finance, and close on every home we build. We use green building techniques in all of our homes. You can contact Jim at masterbuildershow.com. Gibson Home Builders Incorporated, Weatherford, 682-429-2116. Welcome back to Master Builder Show. I am your host, Jim Gibson. My guests today are Craig Chambers with New Day Homes and Don Laughlin, president of Laughlin Home Builders Incorporated. Hello, callers. This is the Master Builder Show. Have you got an answer for me?
Is it TRCC?
Yes, sir. What does TRCC stand for?
Texas Residential Certification or something like that.
No, not. You're getting real close, but it is TRCC. But you got to know what it means to find it. So TRCC stands for what? Anyway, we're back. This is Jim Gibson. Don, we were talking about. I guess most builders today build fairly good energy efficient house, and normally they want to build the most energy efficient house, but people can't. But really, when you're building a spec house or something like that, they can't really see behind the walls, see the upgrades, and most people won't pay for things they can't see.
That's absolutely true, and it's difficult. You take a couple old dogs like you and I that have these higher ideals, and not to put any emphasis on your age. I know you're quite a bit older than I am.
Yeah, right.
It is tough to do that. One thing that can be shown when you're building with, say, a 2x6 wall, you can clearly see the thickness of that wall versus a 2x4 wall, and you can take them into the attic.
Here we've got another caller. Master Builder Show, you're alive.
I think it's called Texas Commission Construction. Texas Residential Construction Commission.
Correct.
Hey,
correct.
We have a winner.
Got a winner. What's your name, sir?
My name's Bobby Bynum.
Bobby Bynum.
Yeah, it took me forever to try to think of those initials, but I got it.
All right, sir. You know where the studio is?
Yes, sir.
All right. Come by and pick up your $25 gift certificate. Thank you very much. All right, we were talking about
the things that you can take them and show when you have done some of the energy efficiency and incorporated it into your building, and even if you've done it in a speculative home, to go into the attic is readily straightforward. You can see where the radiant barrier decking is, and for listeners that may not know what that is the decking that's on your roof, the plywood that's on your roof, and you see the foil on the back. And knowing that, and as you're walking around looking at homes that are under construction, to see if that step has been taken is a pretty good indicator as to what maybe some of the other steps that are happening on that home, if it's in typical construction.
Well, a lot of times now, too, new building techniques are no radiant barrier, and they're actually spraying the insulation directly on the decking underneath to make a conditioned space of that area. And really, that's what's going to be coming up more and more, that to get your air conditioning into conditioned space, just like you are now, Craig. But that's I know several builders that have gone that way. The problem is the cost.
The cost is, and I think what Craig is doing with his company is head and shoulders above, and this is a personal opinion, of those doing it with typical materials and closing that space. I think we're still in an R&D stage there. What I mean by that is we're still under development and review. If that closed space, if you're going to be prone to any dry rot or what's going to happen, there's a fact in North Texas, we start with a relative humidity of about 40%. In most cases, it climbs throughout the day. And to keep that out of the environment is a plus. Moisture and darkness, those are the things that mold need to be able to grow. But there are other things that can happen besides mold and not having good air circulation. I think there's still some opinions out there that are pretty swaying in what their presentation is about moving air through the attic to be able to effectively control your environment.
Right. Well, in our kind of construction that we've been used to, you want to make sure that there's a radiant barrier. You want to make sure that you've got a minimum of R13 in your walls, and you need to ask these questions. And right now, the Department of Energy's, I think, recommending an R49 in our areas for the attics. The old rating was R38, and they've increased to R49 for our hot, humid climate. And we've got if you're going to be looking at a house, don't just look at all the eye candy. Ask what kind of air handler it's got. Does it have a variable speed or a dual speed air handler? What's the SEER rating on the cooling system? The minimum SEER rating for the state of Texas is R13. SEER stands for Seasonal Energy Efficiency Ratio. That's Seasonal Energy Efficiency Ratio. The higher the number, the more efficient it is. So, if you can get R14 or higher up to about R16 or so, that's what I would look for instead of does it have porcelain flooring. You can always put the floor in later. But
well, that's true. And you brought up the point about single speed or dual speed on your air handler, and when that or on your compressor. And when that kicks on, to have that full winding engage it really spins the electric meter. And when that can start slow, and then as the demand, or if it's called for more, it steps up. That's a lot easier on your electric consumption.
Oh yeah. Get a tremendous amount of power, I guess, is saved if you can, especially when we make them tight and they're insulated well. You don't have to take a whole lot to cool it or to maintain it. Looks like Ace is saying we got one more minute to wrap it up. Let's see what type. Really, the things we need to look for is how well insulated it is, what type of windows are going into it, just the overall envelope, I guess is what they're calling. And it looks like we're going to be wrapping up now. So we'll see you next week, next Tuesday, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. This is Jim Gibson, your host on Master Builders Show.